Okay, thank you everyone. And before I proceed, I mistakenly forgot to introduce myself. I'm Kristen Severson and I'm the publisher of the Tartan. And the Tartan is here running the debates today with Elections Board. So to start off today's debate, I'd like to ask the same question that was posed first to last year's candidates, which is, what is the most important role of student government? And I'd like Jarrett and Kate to start, and we can move down the line.
Jarrett and I believe that student government is, in its core, the representation of the student body. So if we are elected, our goal as student government and the best possible job that we believe we could do is to represent each student's concerns, what they like about Carnegie Mellon, what they don't like about Carnegie Mellon, what they want to change, what's really made their undergraduate experience or graduate experience, and what they would like to keep and change about that. So at its core, student government, the most important thing it can do is be the voice of all the undergraduate and graduate students at Carnegie Mellon, and that is what we intend to do if we are elected. Thank you.
All right, so I guess I'll just kind of take the question next. For our side of things, what we believe is the role of student government is to protect and also make sure that we follow through with student interests. Now, that means a lot of things for a lot of people, and there's also going to be discrepancy. But we'll do our best to make sure that we try to get the best opinion from everyone and make sure that we come up with a good synthesized argument to move forward and really make sure that we do the best job that we can. So at its core, to protect and to also promote student interests.
Yeah, I would agree that student safety is really important. And I talked to a Carnegie Mellon police officer the other day and found out that they have handguns, shotguns, and assault rifles. And I think they need tasers too, because that's something they're missing in order to keep us safe. But aside from that, I also think, I was talking to a janitor last night. I'm really tired because I was up all night. And they're actually in the middle of contract negotiations, and they might lose some of their benefits and stuff. So, but I was like, dude, I don't care. Like, the point of what I'm doing is to make sure we have school spirit and that we get more people at football games and stuff. So I think the student government needs to make the workers know that, like, I don't care, you know? So yeah, that's the role of student government.
Okay, next I have another question for all the candidates, and this time we'll start with Mike and Micah, and we're just going to keep rotating who starts. So this question is, all the seats in the Senate are uncontested, and some seats will be left empty for the upcoming year. How do you think this will affect student government function throughout the year?
Very good question, and I know this personally because I believe the Tepper School of Business is one of those institutions that has no senators or just write-ins. So I think this is a symptom of a much larger cause, and that is that people feel, or students feel, like the student government doesn't do anything. If you ever go to a Senate meeting and you see them allocate thousands of dollars to events by simple votes, things like that, you would see how important it is that you're actually represented well in Senate and in the rest of the government. That's why we're bringing out our active communications. Hopefully that'll help stem the problem for later people, but for right now, we are going to have some seats in the Senate that aren't filled right now. I believe that Carnegie Mellon is filled with people that will be willing to do this, and once they find out that there are seats open, that those opportunities are out there, then we're going to have fantastic people fill those seats. This isn't wishful thinking. We're a group of highly intelligent, highly motivated students, and we will find the people to keep the student government running at its maximum capacity. So I don't see that hurting the government and crippling us in any way.
Wait, it's about filling the seats in Senate?
Right.
Sorry, I spaced out a little bit. I think that we should just fill them in by write-ins. I mean, it's a little bit late, right? You have to write in at this point, so yeah. The school should organize the ones that want power and through a total coup through write-in to get more senators in their schools. I think, yeah, that'll be good.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. It's all the seats in the Senate are uncontested, and some seats will be left empty for the upcoming year. How do you think this will affect student government function throughout the year?
Well, I don't really think it will affect student government function. It'll definitely affect Senate function. I think that it's something that is very it's very hard to get work done when you don't have a lot of representation. But I think that students are highly motivated, that they will come out and that they will fill the seats. But I think that it's really to look at why aren't the student senate seats filled? So why aren't people running for student senate? What is the issue there? That's really the I think that that's the issue that we need to look at, not really what student senate can do, because student senate will continue to go on and do all of the work that they need to do, whether or not they have a full senate or not. It's really important that we just look at really what we can do to bring more senators in.
The next question is again for all of the candidates. Currently, CMU is in the process of searching for a new director of student activities and a new dean of student affairs. How do you plan to work with these new employees to help them understand the CMU community? And, oh, I'm sorry, Casey, if you could start that one.
Director of Student Activities and Dean of Student Affairs.
Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat the last half of the question?
Sure, it's just how do you plan to work with these new employees to understand the CMU community, kind of acclimate them to CMU?
They're two different people, or is
Yes,
it
there's
just
two
one person?
positions that are being filled.
Okay. I mean, I guess I would just talk to both of them about. And I would ask for more transparency in the budgets, to know where. Is the student activities director the one? Does that have to do with our student activities fees also? Is that connected?
Yeah, she's the head of, or he or she's the head of the whole part of it, right?
Okay, word. I would try to. Actually, I would ask her why it takes so long to establish a group at school. Like, why can't you just make a group and decide you want to do a service trip somewhere or something? I don't understand why it takes like a year to establish a group to get funding. And I would try to get her to, him or her to show people how to make groups better and how to establish them, because I don't really know how to do that right now. It's not like easily accessible information. Yeah, so that people could do more things and get more funding. And for the Dean of Student Affairs, wait, I'm supposed to be the liaison between, sorry, what's the second half of the question again?
No, say it's the same question just for the two different people.
Okay, I would just discuss things with them too, on behalf of the students, yeah.
With the entrance of a new director of student activities and a new dean of student affairs, I think that it's important to really have that conversation. When Dean Boyd came last fall, we really had to adjust and teach her all about Carnegie Mellon, and I think that that's really the approach that you have to take. Just teach them all of the traditions, help them understand how students feel about Carnegie Mellon. It's really, really important that they understand what students want and how they can actually serve students. And it's important for student government to be that liaison, to be that person that is in between and kind of talking to and addressing all of the issues that have been left behind because we haven't had representation, and especially with the Dean of Student Affairs. There are a lot of things that we haven't been able to do because people have been going in and out, and there are projects that have to restart because we have to re-educate people on them. So it's really important that we just really start that conversation and help them really adjust to Carnegie Mellon because it's such a different school. We have a unique community, and I think that if we have that conversation, they can definitely just transition in and be great.
All right, so my response to the question is that we have to have this conversation that we're all talking about early. The earlier it gets the warm, and I think this is definitely in play here. The sooner we get them acclimated to everything, the better off I think the student body will be. Now what that actually means is going to be a little bit different depending upon who actually takes the position. Whoever comes in there, we want to make sure that we use their full talent set, as well as the talents of everyone else that participates in making student affairs and everything possible. Now that means a lot of stuff has to be covered, and I can't really say right now what's the best way of handling it, but depending upon the person, I think we have to have those conversations early, make sure that we get everyone involved in the conversation that can help them really bring out the best qualities that they were actually picked to use. So.
Can I say something?
Oh, and sure.
I'd just like to add that Kate and I are both tour guides, so win or lose, we can just take them out on a tour and really tell them about Carnegie Mellon's campus like that. Just a possibility.